Good morning and welcome to Zoe's Fabulous Frenzy. So I want to just talk to you guys today. The title of this video today is going to be a love letter to yourself. And here's what this video is about. Last year, I'll tell you the full story because it'll make it easier. Well, at least a shortened version of the story. Last year, at around this time on Easter, I got engaged. This year on Easter, I will be single. In a lot of ways, with this particular situation, and so many of my friends having gotten married within this last year, I am experiencing horrific depression. So I figured this was a perfect time to talk to you guys in all honest and realness. So, this is for everybody who's like me, who has a really hard time with self-love and self-loathing. So after the experience that I went through and separating from my significant other at the time, I went into a downward spiral greater than any I had ever gone. To say that I went through the 5 stages of grief would be a joke. I went through the 2 stages: pretend everything is fine, so denial, and then feel overwhelming pain forever. Like, I don't think I ever really got through stage 2. So I have forgiven that person and I have overcome that relationship, but the pain and the loss of self-confidence I received in that relationship stuck with me like a nasty bruise or scar. So what am I going to talk about here? How am I going to take someone that has less self-love than probably my entire audience combined and try to tell them how to love themselves? Doesn't that make me a hypocrite? Yes, it does. But I can offer you this. Everybody has things about themselves that they wish they could change. Everybody has things that if they could tear apart and rearrange, they would. But not everybody has the supporters as well as the critiques in their head. So the first thing in my head will be all the reasons why I will fail. That's the first thing that comes to mind for me. And then later on, as I've worked through the bout of depression feeling that way created for me, I get to the point where I can say, no, you have to do this, you have no other choice. But do I ever really get to a point where I can say, you can do this, you've got this, like you're smart, you're intelligent? No. I've never been able to do self-affirmations. I've never been able to look inwardly and say, I'm proud of myself, I love myself. Because I would say even from a young age, I never loved myself, ever. Realistically speaking, I didn't even care for myself. I've eaten poorly for years because when you deal with ups and downs and depression, at least in my particular circumstance, food is a comfort. And so when I'm feeling incredibly hurt and in pain, I will eat and eat and eat and eat and eat because it numbs it. You know what I could define it as? Anything to numb the pain. If I could drink enough to be numb, I would. If I could eat enough to be numb, I would. But you know what we're doing when we're making ourselves numb? We're putting a Band-Aid on the situation. It started with Xanax, then it was booze, and now it's food and just lack of acceptance, avoidance. I avoid everything in my life to try and prevent me from hurting. So maybe I tell myself, if I'm just numb enough, if I get just numb enough, no matter what it takes or how dangerous it is to get to that point, maybe it won't hurt so bad. Maybe getting up in the morning won't be so painful. Maybe I can do this. Maybe it won't break me down as a human being to do this. Maybe I can. And that's what I do to myself in my head. I build those what ifs. And what happens in those moments is all that self-deprivation, that quiet, lonely place, the amount of darkness it takes to just swallow you whole, I feed into that. I absorb it into myself. And I take it on as what I feel I deserve. But no one deserves that. Everyone deserves to have one person on their side, and that should be you. That should start with you. So yes, you can do one of two things. You can take all of that hurt and you can internalize it, and you can do what I've been doing, and you can drink, or you can eat. Mostly it's eating. You can eat. You can do whatever it takes to be numb. You can listen to music. You can watch endless movies or play music so that you don't have to listen to your own thoughts. Or you can look at yourself in the mirror and you can start realizing what's wrong and how you can fix it. As I've grown up in life, I've lost a lot of people. Just progressively as a child all the way up to being an adult. And each and every time I have blamed myself. And each and every time I have gone from a perspective of self-loathing and I had said, maybe if I was a better person, he would have loved me and stayed. Maybe if I was a better person, he wouldn't have cheated. Maybe if I was a better person, he wouldn't have X, Y, and Z. And I've done that for every single person in my life. My father is not currently in my life, my real father. And it has damaged me for years. I looked for him for a larger portion of my life because I felt like the black sheep of the family, and what came of that actually brought me to a dark place as well, and I'll do another video on that. But through all of the experiences that I have been through, I've gotten broken, just over and over and over again broken. And what it's done is it has slowly damaged and dissolved any kind of self-will or love that I had left, and it's squelched. A good example of that would be watching a flame go out. You don't blow the flame out, you just subtly wait for the candle to burn out, and then slowly the flame stops. That is sort of the perspective in life I've been living in. I've been that candle, just slowly burning out. And I've looked for love in all the wrong places. Rather than finding a way to love myself and dealing with the pain, I've looked for it outwardly, date after date after date after date. Well, maybe if I could find someone who loves me, I could find a way to forgive myself for everything I've been through and love myself too. And so again and again and again, I would go down that dark road, and where it leads you to is nowhere. Because you can't love another human being or expect it to be loved if you don't love yourself. So where we're gonna start here is with love. This is a love letter to each and every one of you who have a hard time embracing who you are, who don't feel loved, who don't feel like they have anything to offer the world. This is for you, because I've been there. I read a good quote, and I don't remember it word for word, so I'll give you what I've got of it. But basically, in a nutshell, it says, people who are broken help the weak because they understand what it feels like to suffer. And I would definitely self-identify with that. One of the reasons I created this channel was to empower and uplift each and every one of you, because I know I am not the only person in the world who has a hard time loving themselves. I know I'm not the only person in the world who struggles to get up in the morning because the depression runs so deep. I know I'm not the only person in the world who hasn't felt loved or accepted by those around them. But I am here to tell you this. We need to start with ourselves. Rather than seeking outwardly items to numb us, people to love us, we need to first love ourselves. So what I'm going to challenge you to do is this. Start with a daily affirmation. This isn't an overnight process. I'm all about a quick fix, but learning to love yourself is years worth of blood, sweat, and tears. And I would say I haven't even fully come to the place where I love myself yet. It takes time. So let's start with self-affirmations. As dumb as it might sound, let's find one thing about ourselves that we love, and let's start saying that into a mirror. Let's look into a mirror and really look at ourselves and see what's on the other side of that. So that's step one. Look in the mirror and figure out who you are and how you can love yourself. I love each and every one of you. Subscribe down below, hit a like if you like this video, and please follow me, because this series will go over how to find loving yourself and how I go through that process as well. Have a good day, friends.